It's the Sports Kings. Sports Kings. Big Mike.
He might fall off the wagon in the next 10 minutes.
And Rob Calloway.
It's about bringing talent. It's not about all the flash and glitz and glam.
Not your average sports talk show. The Sports Kings.
This is NFL legend, Work Done.
This your boy D. Howard, a.k.a. Superman.
I'm Jerome Bettis, the bus.
It's Cam Newton. Holla at your boy, already.
This is Hank Aaron, and I'm down with the King.
Tell a friend, Kings is back.
Last hour of the week, everybody. Get your phone calls in now. Well, that's not happening. No calls here. Just straight ignorance. Two dudes talking. Those two dudes, myself, Big Mike, and Rob Calloway. We are the Sports Kings. This is the Sports Kings podcast, being heard on Spreaker.com. We're also on the world, or in the world of social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sports Kings Live. You guys can also email the show at sportskingslive@gmail.com. Now, in the first hour, we took the whole first hour and basically gave you guys the update on your favorite new soap opera as the world deflates, Deflategate. We also got into some conversation about some of the NFL rookies who are having a little bit of a time of it at their rookie mini camps this week. And also a little funny story about the Redskins GM and his I guess scouting report, his football scouting report on Bryce Harper of the Washington Nationals. This hour we're gonna get into some kind of weird things, some things that I think are weird, and I'm gonna tell you guys how I got by a story that actually Rob brought to my attention a couple weeks ago. At the time, I felt it was something awesome, but in reading a different perspective, it's kind of skewed mine as well. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit of baseball, not a lot, because again, this is the Sports Kings podcast, and not a whole lot of stuff goes on in baseball, and I'm not going to push the issue, you know. Yeah, not going to do that. Oh, speaking of, though, for everyone who listens here in the Metro Atlanta area, or if you're anywhere else and you consider yourself a Braves fan, our guy Bill Shanks, and I don't remember the radio station, so forgive me. He's on a radio station, AM station in Macon, but that's besides the point. He wrote a very good article about the players that are no longer here with the Braves, the players that everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe what's going on. And he gives you an update on what their progress is. The guys like Jason Hayward and the Upton boys and El Oso Blanco, big Evan Gaddis. Great article, man. If you're one of those guys that are wondering, if you don't keep up with baseball as a whole, by all means, you should check him out on Twitter. Bill Shanks is his name. And I'm sure you can find the article in one of his more recent tweets. And he kind of goes and
he's on Fox Sports 1670 in Macon and Fox Sports 1400 in Noonan.
There you go, Bill Shanks, as well.
Bill Shanks.
What was I going to say about baseball as well? Oh, the other thing I told you guys the other day, one of my new favorite shows is MLB Tonight. And while I don't put a lot of stake into like awards and all this kind of stuff, what I found out the other day is like I'm not the only one who thinks it's a great show. They won a sports Emmy for best studio show or whatnot. So I was like, all right, at least I understand, kind of what's good is good to me, and I didn't even have to know that there were Emmy nominated show for me to understand that it was just a good damn show. All right, but moving on, and we're definitely. I told Rob to remind me that we definitely got to give you guys an update on the Freddie Gray situation in Baltimore. Not really a total update, but some things that I found out. I found this out on Sunday, and then here it is Friday, and I'm just not bringing it to you guys' attention. So we'll get into all that. But first, let's get through this NBA stuff, because there's some things that kind of some meat got left on the bone yesterday, as far as conversationally, and actually. It didn't really get left accidentally. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I don't work for ESPN, so they can make anything a big deal. Apparently, Matt Barnes and James Harden's mom got into it at the basketball game, and some things transpired after that, where one of James Harden's other brothers, who was sitting with his mom, came out, and the way it was written said he made Matt Barnes apologize. I find that part hard to believe. I can believe he asked him to apologize, and Matt Barnes obliged, and for good reason. You know, he told James Harden's mom, like, look, I'm sorry, I got caught up in the moment. You know, I shouldn't have disrespected you. He's a guy whose mom actually passed of cancer, and so it may make, you know, you can take that bit of information and attribute it to him being contrite in his apology, and it not just being one of those empty apologies that, you know, this dude is going 100 miles a minute. He's in his mode. Like, James Harden is their agitator. You know what I'm saying? So he's always in that space while he's playing. Now, here's the other thing. What came out, I think overnight, what he actually said to her. Yeah, he said, he said, "Sick my duck, B." If you can decipher that, my Outcast fans know what I'm saying.
Becky me.
Yeah, but here's the other thing about that though. When someone says that, that's usually a response. That's not the first thing you say to somebody. You know what I mean? That's usually a response to something. And now we all know the history of LeBron's mom being like close to the court and chiding other players from other teams and all that kind of stuff. I've always been one, man.
Other stuff too, though.
Well, that's for another show and another day. In this particular, I'm the one that's all like, man, you got to let your mama calm down, dude. This ain't AAU no more. This is the big time, man. And when somebody ends up saying something out of the way to your moms, I can't really defend that, man.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you, dog. Tell you about this situation. You go laugh at me when I tell you this. But I had a situation like that. You know, it was a rake ball.
And somebody said something to your mama?
No, this dude, Chuck, his mom just kept on antagonizing me. You know, and every time we come down court, she was sitting right behind the basket. You know, she just had something to say. Every time we came down court, she had something to say about number 2.
Wait. You were a child and she was an adult?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then I got hot out there on the court. Everything I started shooting started going in. So then I started talking back. And like by the end of the game, his big brother was up there. Everybody was wanting to fight me and everything. I'm like, it was weird.
Yeah,
it was weird.
That is weird. First of all, adults.
Yeah.
If there are adults who do that today, stop immediately. Leave
they do it.
Leave children alone.
Mike, you coached at the park.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. They're as ridiculous.
Yeah.
Stop immediately. It's so stupid. And then also the other development that came out today was that initially, first of all, Matt Barnes did apologize to her. I didn't mention it already, but he talked to her after that as well. Just to reinforce that his contrition. Initially he didn't realize it was James Harden's mom, and that's what I thought at the beginning. I was like, how would he know who James Harden's mom is? Right. And then today he came out and said, I didn't even know it was his mom until afterwards. The dude came on the court telling me, that was my mom and this is who I am and blah blah blah. And so now ESPN is trying to make it into this thing where, like, are we going to see any retaliation today and all this? And, like, the Rockets are like, no. No. We got a playoff series to play. What we like? Retaliating over some stuff that's really a non-issue. It happened. It happened in the heat of the moment. And everyone who are adults in the matter, said their piece and walked away. You know what I mean? Right. Everyone's unscathed. But because there has to be a villain, he said this about his mom. What are we, 12? Your mom, first of all, he's a grown woman. He's a grown man, and she's a grown woman.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, how much stuff do they say on the court to each other?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, the stuff that they say on the court to each other is way worse than what he said to her. That was disrespectful. But she got a stick on her forehead to say, I'm James' mama. Right. And,
And to your earlier point, she's not as notable as one Gloria James, so I can believe he does not know who she is. as we're recording this, later on tonight, the Clippers will be playing Game 3 against the Houston Rockets, the team we just mentioned. And apparently Chris Paul is going to give it a go. Speaking of Matt Barnes, at shoot-around, he gave Matt Barnes an indication that he was going to try to go tonight, try to the series is, again, tied 1-1. They stole one on the road, so it's time now to go home. And hopefully, I think I can only imagine what the mindset would be, is that the home crowd and the adrenaline will help you kind of push through the discomfort of the hamstring injury. So expect to see Chris Paul in Friday's NBA game, and hopefully for the rest of them. Because again, if you're like me, you want to see the best. You don't want to see Austin Rivers starting. Shout out to Austin Rivers, but yeah, Chris Paul is better, a lot better, and I want to see him play ball more than I want to see you. Speaking of point guards that I want to see, another guy who I may not get a chance to see, who none of us may not get to see for the rest of these playoffs, one John Wall. We talked about it yesterday, the 5 displaced fractures in the wrist and hand. He was trying to find, he's doing that thing, man. He's trying to find somebody who can give him the go-ahead to play ball. That series against Atlanta, they'll play that tomorrow. They'll play Game 3 tomorrow, I'm sorry. It's tied up 1-1. They came to Phillips Arena.
But do you risk it? I get it. He want to be out there for his team, and they obviously need him out there. But he has like 5 fractures in his hand, on his wrist and hand. Do you really risk that? I don't know if John Wall with almost a completely broken hand. I don't know if he's gonna make the Wizards any more a better team than if he sat out. I don't know.
Well, he talked about it earlier today. He basically the problem that they're by the way, Randy Whitman, old former Hawk Randy Whitman, went in on some reporters that reported that John Wall kind of got into it with the doctors, and Whitman didn't appreciate that. He felt like it was they were painting the young man in a bad light, that it didn't happen. He called it unequivocally a lie, and none of that stuff ever happened. But going back to what John Wall said about the wrist, he said, well, not what he said. The reports about the wrist now are that the swelling just has not gone down. It's still swollen. What he ended up saying was that, right now it's a matter of pain tolerance. I talked about this yesterday, but he was like, there's no way that he's going to play and not be able to dribble, because obviously he's a point guard. That's his job. And he actually referenced he actually made the comparison to playing with one hand taped behind his back. And he said in the NBA, that's not a go. No one's going to allow you to do that in the NBA. So he has the right perspective in the matter, that he said exactly what you said, as far as he has to take into consideration any further injury, whether he'll injure it further and more permanently, or if it's just a pain management thing, if he can just deal with the pain of it. I don't look for him to play tomorrow, definitely. It'll be a minor miracle if he does play tomorrow. I don't look for him to play tomorrow, but possibly, with what they have at hand, if they can soft cast it and shoot it up or whatever without, because right now the fractures are non-displaced, and I guess the only thing that could happen further is if the fractures become displaced. I'm not a doctor. I only stayed in the Holiday Inn last night, so I don't know. But to me, again, unfortunate, because I want to see great players play basketball. I don't want to see Ramon Sessions, as cool as he may be. I'm not trying to get sessioned every night. I'd like to see John Wall play basketball. Real quick, as I mentioned, let me make sure I give you guys the weekend schedule as it stands now in the NBA. Well, currently, as we're recording this, the Bulls are taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers at home in the United Center. Series tied 1-1 as well. Later on tonight, we're going to get the Golden State Warriors. Mike Conley back with the mask on, taking on Stephen Curry, one game removed from receiving his Kia NBA MVP trophy. So hopefully they have a better game tonight. I guess tomorrow, who do we got tomorrow? We got the... I'm sorry. What am I looking at here? I'm an idiot. I'm such an idiot. We have the Hawks tomorrow. Were the games I said for the night, right? Or am I an idiot? The games I said for the night. I don't know what I was just looking at. But, yes. Sorry, Rockets and the Clippers later on. I just mentioned that. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, Rockets and the Clippers. I just said Chris Paul is going to try to give it a go, and here I am talking